Aston Villa have just lost the Super Cup final, but believe me, I feel more excited now for the season than I did before kickoff.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And before you tell me I've completely lost the plot, yes, we might have just lost to the two-time Champions League winners. And yes, there are things from last night that Unai Emery is going to be absolutely fuming about. And yes, we had chances to get back in and more importantly, win that game. But there are also some massive reasons why I don't think Villa fans should be panicking about the season ahead. I mean, we should have bloody won, and that's where we're going to get into it. So grab yourself a brew or maybe a cheeky beer because there'll be no drowning sorrows around here. Now look, we're obviously going to talk about the game itself because there have been a lot of interesting things that happened in that match. But I am much more interested in what this result tells us. What do we have to look forward to in claret and blue for the next 9 months? Because this one game, it shouldn't define a season. And believe me, it won't. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about what the happened in that Super Cup final. So let's set the scene. Aston Villa, Europa League winners, PSG, Champions League winners, back to back. Might I add, the Super Cup, one trophy, winner takes all. And I'll be honest, when I saw the team sheet and I saw my man Big Brian leading the line, I thought, yeah, boy. That, or has Unai actually lost his mind telling these World Cup players to not come? Because he did do that. He told them to rest. These are those we're playing against PSG, right? But thankfully, man knows what he's doing. Because the way Aston Villa came out the blocks, I think caught a lot of people by surprise, myself included. We weren't sitting back thinking, oh my God, we're playing PSG. Nah, we rose to the occasion. We are bringing it to the French. We were trying to attack. We were trying to press them. We weren't letting them have any space or time on the ball. We were taking the game to them. And then PSG came and slapped us in the face. They reminded us why they are the two-time Champions League winners. Kvaratskhelia gets the ball, cuts inside, and before you can blink, he's absolutely thunderbastarded it into the back of the net. 1-0 PSG. Just like that. And this is the moment I was really interested to actually see what Villa are made of, because we all kind of expected this. Well, I'm not sure about you guys, but I definitely did. 1-0 down. Show us your character, lads. Show us what this new Aston Villa team are all about, because in this very moment, it is easy to go, right, we're behind, standard against PSG. Don't make this any worse than it already is. Let's retreat. But Unai Emery's men did the exact opposite, and we love to see it. And let's be honest, to PSG's surprise, we went at them again and again, all first half. And let me tell you, this kid, Brian Madjo, wow. Honestly, the big lad, he was everywhere, creating all sorts of chances, just like he has been all pre-season, but this time up against the big boys. I mean, this lad, he was out to prove a point. He had one fire wide, he had a header, he had one go close, which hit the post. He had another header, which he probably should have scored. And then, oh yeah, boy, and then in the 45th minute, once he stopped taking Pacho for a walk all around the pitch, Guinea, who was a man on an absolute mission, whips yet another ball into the box. And this time, rather than hitting it with his head, Brian Madjo hits an unbelievable point blank, close range finish, sends the ball into the roof of the bastard net and sends 6,000 Villa fans in the stadium mad. Free Madjo, our 17-year-old wonder kid on the stroke of half time. Oh, madness. And what an absolute moment for the lad. The youngest player to ever score in a Super Cup final. The youngest player that had ever started in a Super Cup final. Big man Brian. He's got some records under his belt already and he's 17. It was all over the news this morning. You just could not avoid it. Our big Brian, wearing claret and blue, plastered across the media. So 1-1, the halftime whistle goes. My missus appears from upstairs and she says, babe, how do you think we're getting on? I said, slow down, baby girl. We're actually giving these guys a game. And that momentum and confidence continued into the second half. Guinea just was a man on a mission. He hits a curler, which goes close. Buendia, he has a snapshot, which he should have done better with. Little George Hemmings, who's basically Jacob Ramsey 2.0, is having the game of his life. The two young lads are the real standout players here. And Matson, Ian Matson, who I see getting slated online all the time, well, he's currently pocketing Doué and Hakimi all by himself. The guy had a game, to be fair to him. Credit where it's due. We're creating openings, we're getting forward, we're playing some lovely, lovely stuff. And then, yet again, PSG switch on and remind us why they're the fucking Champions League champions. Doué breaks through from the right-hand side. Our backline actually stops, raising their flags, wanging them around, expecting a flag to come up to save the day. And Doué, to his credit, from close range, he curls one round Bizot, and as soon as that ball hits the back of the net, the liner puts his flag up. I, like many in that Aston Villa back line, could have kissed the linesman. I wanted to wave that flag around like we were at a bloody party. Matty Cash must be thinking, I've got away with one there. Except this is a UEFA game. VAR. I'm still not fully used to this shit, by the way. And of course, VAR decide, goal. Fucking hell, Matty Cash, man. 2-1 PSG. Knocked the sales out of me at home. I can't imagine how the players felt on the pitch. And look, I'm not going to sit here and blame VAR for this one because it's our back line that switched off. You play to the whistle, lads. You don't stop and fling your arms around. You should know that by now. And the frustrating thing is, the one time your back line isn't fully in sync is the one time you're going to get exploited by an elite club like Paris Saint-Germain. They have world-class players. They only need one opportunity. This is a Champions League level fixture. And that split second of hesitation can and will cost you throughout the season. But here's the thing I really liked. Aston Villa refused to give up yet again. Fuck it. I'm going for it. The young George Hemmings gets himself into yet another brilliant position. A great little reverse pass from Buendia. And unfortunately for us, Hemmings lashes it straight at the keeper. João Gomez, who I thought was excellent, has an opportunity blocked by the PSG defenders. We're still pushing here. The pressure is mounting. We are chasing this equaliser. We are hunting that bad boy down. But unfortunately, despite all our huffing and puffing and Emery Buendia running every blade of grass on the pitch, it just won't fall for us. The game finishes PSG 2. Aston Villa 1. We lose our first European final. And look, I'm disappointed. Of course I am. Who the fuck doesn't want to win a trophy? Who likes losing football matches? We were 90 minutes away from adding another piece of silverware to our club's trophy cabinet. And I think Villa internally, the hierarchy would be frustrated because this is very much a game we could have won. But this is where I want to stop. Because if you've come here tonight expecting me to tell you that Aston Villa aren't ready for the new season based on losing the Super Cup final, my friend, you are not in luck today. Quite frankly, you're in the wrong fucking place. Now, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. If we'd have won last night, I'd have been running up and down my street, shouting at the top of my lungs that Aston Villa are the best club in European football. Because that's what football fans do when you win things. We win one cup, and suddenly Uncle Unai and his mandem, we're coming for the lot. I'm talking Premier League, yeah, throw it in the bag. Champions League, fuck it, why not? Domestic cups, we'll take the lot of them. And at this point, you might as well think about winning the World Bloody Cup like West Ham did. Somehow, that's coming in the bag as well. We're winning the whole shebang. But that's the point. One win or one game shouldn't make us feel like we're going to absolutely take over the world. And one loss shouldn't make us feel like our club is about to fold and fall into pieces either. We have got 38 Premier League games to look forward to, where Uncle Unai and his magical structure and team cohesion can take the Premier League by whatever storm it wants to. Because let me tell you, Unai Emery's makeup and tactical structure of this team, both in and out of possession, is one of the best things I've seen down Villa Park. He's got plenty of games in this coming season to fine-tune that beast which we call Aston Villa Football Club. We've got Champions League, we've got domestic cups, we've got Villa Park under the lights. Okay, it's only 3 stands, but it's still going to be an electric atmosphere down there. We've got European nights, both home and away, to look forward to. More memories on our European adventure. We've got a squad that's still learning the Unai way and developing, and a crop of decent youngsters by the looks of it too. And of course, we've got Uncle Bloody Unai Emery in charge, at the wheel. So instead of asking ourselves, what does losing this trophy mean? We should be asking ourselves, what is the progress that we can take from this and move forward as a football club? What did we actually learn from last night? Because to be fair, I think there's a few things. Firstly, Aston Villa can compete with the best. Let's not gloss over this. The Champions League winners, PSG, back-to-back winners, were scared to go toe-to-toe with Aston Villa yet again. That PSG team is one of the best squads and teams you will see in world football. And little old Aston Villa, we come and we disturb the peace yet again. 15 shots to their 12. We created the better chances. We walked away from this game thinking, bloody hell, how have we not won that? Even when PSG went 2-1 up, we still had them on the ropes. We were hunting down that equaliser. Unfortunately, it just didn't come. Now, does that mean we're suddenly the best team in Europe? I mean, in my eyes, and I'm joking, of course it bloody doesn't. But what it does tell me is that we are not far off. And that's important because there was a time where Aston Villa fans would have looked at this fixture and gone, fucking hell, lads, please don't embarrass us. This could get ugly. Instead, we're sitting here as a fan base absolutely gutted that we went toe-to-toe with the 2-time Champions League champs and come out the wrong side. If that doesn't scream progress, I don't know what more you want. And then there's the kids. Our man, Big Brian, looks like a world beater. I went on a podcast recently and put my neck on the line and said, is this the second coming of Wayne Rooney? Now, fans from other teams saw that clip. They mocked me, laughing emojis, DMs, the lot. Well, lads.
You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
Yeah, how do you like them apples? 17-year-old on the biggest stage, a European UEFA competition, and he has absolutely bossed it, scored in the final, and looked completely at home, not fazed by the occasion at all. 17, Big Brian. Honestly, man, what a guy. It's not supposed to happen like this. Show me another 17-year-old who's done that. Wayne Rooney. Like I say, 17 bloody years old, and he's taking man like Pacho for a walk around the pitch. He is bullying the PSG defence. They did not know how to contain Big Brian. Yes, he could have had a hat-trick, but he got himself into those goal-scoring opportunities, the mindset to go again, and he did what every young lad in the playground dreams of, and thunder-bastarded a volley into the roof of the net for the equaliser. What a feeling, man. Free Big Brian. The chains are off, big lad. And then you've got George Hemmings, Jacob Ramsey 2.0. I'm seeing people compare him to some of the best ball carriers and dribblers we've seen down Villa Park, and rightfully so. The two young lads were absolutely on it last night. And if you couldn't tell, these are moments that excite me and should excite you too, because yes, we're looking at the here and now, but can you imagine what these lads are going to become once Uncle Unai works his magic on the training pitch with him? Imagine them in 3-4 years' time. Jesus, absolute beasts we're going to have at our football club. But we can't just get carried away and say everything's fine, because it's not. We can't have those claret and blue rose tinted glasses on and ignore the problems. For starters, Uncle Unai wouldn't allow that to happen. There were things from last night that will need fixing, and believe me, he's going to be sat on a coach on the way home drilling that into the players. And one of the big ones is that PSG second goal, the Doué goal. Matty Cashman, you can't switch off at this level. You just can't. You can't stand there and think this flag is going to save you. And as for the rest of them, you play to the whistle, not to the flag. So with all these arms going up and stuff, lads, you should have been busting a bollock to get back and trying to do everything in your power to stop Doué getting a strike on target, because these tiny moments to world-class teams will win them trophies. And look what happened. Now, I'm not just going to single the defence out, because there will be other things that Unai Emery looks at too. I mean, the times when PSG were just cutting through us like a knife through butter. The moments where PSG really exploited us. The fact that we couldn't take our second chance and ultimately lost the game. That's just football. And I'm sure Unai Emery will take in all things considered and looking into them in intensive detail. And that's exactly what pre-season's for. You learn, you adjust, you improve. And guess what? Then you go again. So let's zoom back. Let's take a step back, guys, because this is the part I really want Villa fans to remember. Think about where this club was 7-8 years ago, and now we sat here gutted about how well we played and lost a Super Cup final to the Champions League two-time winners, by the way. We've already won a European trophy. We've got Champions League to look forward to this season. We're competing against the European elites week in, week out. We've got hot prospects and potential world-class youngsters breaking through into our first team. We've got one of the best managers in world bloody football at the helm. And we sat here talking about whether a Villa are capable of winning more trophies. That is Aston Villa now. That is this new era that Unai Emery was pointing towards in that press conference and everything he was talking about. And that is exactly why I won't let this one result dictate how I feel about this football club. Because if you couldn't tell, I'm pretty fucking excited. And maybe even more excited after that performance. Not because Aston Villa are perfect and we're one of the best clubs in Europe, because I tell you straight, we're not quite there yet, lads. But it's because I can see where this football club's going. And if Arblay can add a few additions and Unai can work even more magic on this squad, what? Can you imagine where this team's going to end up? I can't be the only one feeling this excited. So after 90 minutes of football, because that's what it was, what should Aston Villa fans expect? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. Right, we've established I'm not panicking. We've established I'm ridiculously excited about this football club. But let's put our money where our mouth is. What do I think this Aston Villa team can achieve this season? Because it's easy to do the Sky Sports thing and sit on the fence and go, well, I think we're going to have a good season. Yeah, but bro, what does that mean? Say it with your chest. And that's exactly what I'm about to do. For me, without a doubt, the Premier League is the priority. I think we all know the financial position this club is in and how important and imperative it is that we get the top four yet again this coming season. We need those financial shackles off, and this is the only way we are going to get into the 3D6's playground, by busting the door down and going, what's up lads, We're here to play. Now, do I think we're guaranteed to finish in the top 4? Hell nah, absolutely not. But because of the level that this football club has consistently proven over the last 3 to 4 years since Unai Emery has been here, I think we should be saying it with our chests. When an opposition fan says, "What do you think you're going to do for this season, Jay?" I'm telling them, look you dead straight in the eye and say, "We're coming for the top 4, lads. Don't you worry," or you should be worried, I guess. We have shown since Unai Emery walked through the door that we can compete at that level and beyond. I'm talking Champions League. I'm talking the latter stages of domestic competitions. We should be aiming to be there yet again and go one better, win that bloody trophy, don this new era that Unai Emery's talking about, become that football club. And before you hear the negative Nellies go, "Well, you've got Champions League this season," bro, shut up. We've been here before. If Arblay continues to recruit well and build this squad that Unai Emery wants, mate, we have got no qualms doing what Uncle Uno wants and competing across all fronts, all competitions. Let's go, go, go. And as I say, top 4 and higher should genuinely be the ambition. Let's go toe to toe with the big boys, man. Fuck it, why not? Now, does that mean finishing 5th, that we're as good as relegated and we might as well just fold the club? Of course it doesn't. Does it mean that we should be sacking everybody if we're not in the top 6 in November? Lads, just grow up. If we're talking about what success looks like to me, it's got to be top 4. It's got to be deep into the Champions League competition. It's got to be a challenge for a domestic trophy. I'll say it with my chest, I want the FA Cup. Now, with that said, am I some sort of idiot that thinks that we're just going to stroll into the Champions League, say cheers for turning up, lads, but we've come to take our trophy back? Of course not, man. At the same time, I also don't want us going into it and thinking, "Oh, thanks for having us, it's happy to be here." Shut up, man. Compete with the elite. Jeez. We've earned our place there. We belong in the big time. And I want us to have a proper go. We've been there before. Damn right, we're going to do it again. Enjoy the European destinations. Enjoy under the lights at Villa Park whilst that Champions League beautiful theme tune pumps out, because it is spine tingling. And you know what? If we can make a deep run, why the hell not? Who are you to tell us that we can't achieve and dream for big things? And then you've got the cups. Now, this is where I think Emery can have some real fun, especially if he gets the squad that he wants by the end of the transfer window. Because if this squad stays fit and healthy and we somehow avoid these miraculous ACL injuries that we just seem to collect, I don't see why Villa can't have a serious crack at one of these cups. I really can't. Like I'm saying, get me that FA Cup, get it now. And I'll be honest, that's my expectation. Not Villa are going to fucking win everything. But you know, we're here to compete now. This is that new era that Unai Emery is talking about. New era, a new dawn, a new way of thinking for this football club. A few years ago, we were hoping on a whim that we could get into Europe. Now we're sat here thinking, which trophies can we actually win? That is fucking progress. Thank you, Uncle Unai. So now I'm going to throw it to you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think is achievable for Aston Villa this season. Where are we finishing in the league? Where are we finishing in the Champions League? What competitions do you see us going deep in? Or are you sat there thinking, this geezer, he's fucking off his rocker, he is next level deluded? Let me know in the comments. Because as I say, I'm going top 4, deep in the Champions League, and a serious, serious challenge for a domestic cup. Man, I cannot wait for this season to get started. But before we wrap things up, there is one final thing I want to say tonight about last night's result. Because despite losing, I think Aston Villa fans really should be excited. Get behind the lads. It's an exciting time to be a Villa fan. So don't let 90 minutes define 38 Premier League games. Of course, I'm gutted we didn't win last night. I mean, who is in football not to win trophies? But alternatively, I'm not going to sit here and let those 90 minutes define how I feel about my football club and where it is headed. The Super Cup is done. Our season starts on the 23rd, bloody Brighton away. Marvellous. That is a wrap for this episode of the Terrace View, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do all the usual good stuff. Like, share, subscribe, yada yada. I will catch you in the next one. All that's left to say is up the fucking Villa and come on me babies!
Up the Villa!